What's going on? It's your man Diamond K, Radioonfire.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, the Diamond K Show. And we're here daily, 9 a.m. new episodes dropping. Before we get the show started, though, I definitely wanted to thank everybody for their well wishes, sympathy, kind words, and condolences that me and my family have received. For those that don't know, one of my sisters, I have 3 sisters. One sister passed away, so her funeral is this weekend. My sister Shawan. So it's been a tough time for my family. So I definitely want to thank everybody that has just reached out to me. A lot of people reached out to me I haven't talked to in a long time, and it's unfortunate, talking to people under these circumstances, but I definitely has been an outpouring of love and all that. So I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that. I haven't really done that on air at all, so I definitely appreciate that, and as I said, my family appreciates that as well. It's been a lot difficult. Definitely, I talk about the paternity test with my son, and how difficult that was. And for a long time, that was the most difficult thing I ever had to deal with. But the death of my sister Shawan, definitely the most difficult thing I have ever had to go through. My mother and father, it's been tough for them, and my other sisters. It's been a tough time. So definitely appreciate the prayers that have been sent our way. So you gotta pick things up, of course. So we're in here, Radioonfire Studios, Baltimore, Maryland. We are going to be launching Radioonfire Atlanta, Radioonfire ATL. So Jay Jackson live in Atlanta down there is going to be spearheading that, but I'm going to be down in Atlanta a lot more. We have a new facility that we're going to be unveiling, so definitely keep your ears posted, your eyes posted, and all of that. Radioonfire on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at Radioonfire. So a couple other events that we need to mention here in Baltimore. Log on to thetournament.com. The tournament goes down, the TBT tournament. Okay, Thursday, August 2nd, Friday, August 3rd at Morgan State University. It is going to be major. So like I said, log on to thetournament.com. Tournament is going down. ESPN, nationally televised, $2 million winner take all. Great basketball, and Baltimore's best, keeping the party hot. So it's gonna be hot. As I said, that's going down here in Baltimore today, August 2nd, tomorrow, August the 3rd, and it is official. So I'm excited about that. Also, Flywire Wine, Cheese, and Cocktails, Saturday, August 11th, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Tempo. Oheb Shalom on Park Heights Avenue. That is going down. Free, lavish catered buffet, live chef, unlimited pasta from 6:30 to 8:30. Free wine, 6 p.m. to 7:30. Then after that, top shelf, cash bar, gourmet dessert, cash bar, Whimsy Cakes, shout out to her. Music by DJ Chief Rocker, DJ Lil Jetta, hosted by Be More Princess and Mr. Incredible. Also, the TFP Bottle Girls, they are official. So, it's all good. That is going down, as I said. So, today we're gonna talk about Lyor Cohen. And for those that don't know who Lyor Cohen is, Lyor Cohen, he's been actively involved in hip-hop and various record labels for more than 30 years. So Def Jam, Rush Productions, Warner Music Group, and actually he was one of the founders of 300 Entertainment. 2 years ago, going on 2 years ago, Lyor Cohen was named the global head of YouTube Music. So he's been putting in work for a minute, various labels. Legendary executive. He sat down with the Breakfast Club for an hour-long convo. And he talked about his start in hip-hop, concert promotions, record companies, and much more. Very interesting interview. Very interesting. As I said, over an hour long. And one thing that he said I didn't know about is that Lyor Cohen said that he had a handshake deal with Drake to sign to Def Jam when Lyor Cohen was at Def Jam, and only to find out at an award show that the Canadian rapper went with Cash Money Records. So he said he was old school, didn't have any paperwork, but he said that Drake had agreed to come to Def Jam. And I think that Drake would have done well at Def Jam. However, he went with Cash Money. Now, word on the street is he's not even with Cash Money anymore. But at the time, he went with Cash Money Records. So that was interesting. Cohen also said that YouTube has over 1.9 billion customers. Customers is what he called them. He also discouraged artists to sign with labels unless they have something to give you. What do labels have to offer you? And that was interesting. So of course, Dame Dash has often referred to what he calls hashtag culture vultures. So before we go there, I want to take a moment to say this about Dame Dash. I have not always agreed with everything that Dame Dash says. Dame Dash can be abrasive. I think that sometimes he has good points, but he can be bad for business at the same time. So with that being said, I've been hard on Dame Dash sometimes. But, like anything, anybody, you're not going to agree with him all the time. So the fact that I am hard on Dame Dash at times, Dame Dash is spot on. Sometimes he's right. And when he's right, I give him his props. I think that as time has gone on, Dame Dash has a better understanding and is able to better communicate with people. I like Dame Dash more now than I ever did. Before, I felt like he was fucking up the money. And he was taking opportunities and blowing the opportunities. Now, are there better ways that he could have said some of the things that needed to be said? Yes, definitely. Could Dame Dash have done better communicating things better? Yes, he could have. He could have. Dame Dash has called out several people that's involved in hip-hop that he says have been eating off hip-hop, but hip-hop's not their culture. They just work in hip-hop and they steal from hip-hop. He used the word steal because he said they're not even using their own money. They're playing with other people's money. So I guess that's their white privilege. He said the culture vulture because he says you're not making money in your culture. You look at the white culture that's looking at rock and roll, what have you. And I get it. Dame Dash is right about that. And I think that frustration, his inability to voice it another way, caused confusion. I mean, you take somebody like Petey Crack, the rapper Petey Crack, was on Rockefeller Records at one time, had the hit with Neo, had Flipside with Beans. Petey Crack said that Dame Dash was living in the moment. We were just partying for the moment. And Jay-Z could see the future. And Jay-Z wanted something bigger. And Jay-Z ultimately said, you want to do that? That's cool. I'm trying to do something else. And I thought that was interesting. And I think that's probably accurate. Dame Dash has accused Lyor Cohen of being the person who was instrumental in the Rockefeller breakup. That may be true. Did he help Jay-Z see that Jay-Z could make more money without Dame Dash and Biggs? Probably. Lyor Cohen, on this interview with The Breakfast Club, that I definitely recommend, Charlemagne pushed and pressed up the question on Lyor Cohen, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it at all. There were times in the interview where Lyor Cohen clearly told a lie. Now, was he trying to be sarcastic? Was it hyperbole? Probably, because we know the answers. But let's hear it straight from the mouth of Lyor Cohen. As I said, Lyor Cohen on The Breakfast Club yesterday. Let's check this out.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture?
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of money.
Come on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't.
Yeah, so clearly, as you can see in this picture, he's sitting right here beside him. He knows him. He refuses to address some of those things. Some of the valid points that Dame Dash has made about Lyor Cohen being a culture vulture. I think that right before that clip that we just showed, Lyor Cohen was talking about how he dislikes people that use drugs. That likes to tell them, keep it real. He likes to tell them, you're a junkie and you're using drugs, and people with a cup says it's liquid heroin, blah 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 blah. And Charlemagne pressed him and asked a follow-up question: why do you sign artists that promote drug use? Why do you sign artists that promote drug use? And then that's when he said that he got a business to run, he got family to feed. And he talked about that. He said his kids threw college off of Suck MCs. This is a Run DMC song, and Beastie Boys, Brass Monkey, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. Never have I heard somebody so boldly that does not create music. And I understand he's on the label side. Just brag on, making money off of the blood, sweat, and tears of recording artists. Lyor Cohen cannot make music. We talked about the brilliance of Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin, one of the founding members of Def Jam, talented, legendary producer. Now, he is white, but he has contributed immensely to the hip-hop culture. So when Dame Dash talks about culture vultures, he definitely cannot be talking about Rick Rubin. But by his own admission, he's definitely talking about Lyor Cohen. Now, Lyor Cohen is a businessman. Dame Dash frequently talks about why these alleged culture vultures don't make money in their own culture. Said that they can't make money in their own culture. Lyor Cohen talked about some rap rock concerts that started off his career. And when you go back to acts like the Beastie Boys or Run DMC, there was a rap rock fusion, and I'm sure that Lyor Cohen and Rick Rubin helped make that happen, helped that crossover for Run DMC and Beastie Boys respectively. He talked about the fact he wanted to take credit for being the person who told Run it was his house. Y'all remember Run's house? This was a popular phrase that Run DMC pretty much blew up back in the 80s. As I said, interesting interview here. Very interesting interview. Dame Dash has accused Lyor Cohen of being the person who broke up Rockefeller Records. He dodged this question. Now, one thing about this interview, Lyor Cohen was a controversial figure going into this interview, and he will remain a controversial figure after this interview. He pretty much dodged the question. He didn't take responsibility for breaking up Rockefeller Records. But he referred it back to the label, to the guys. He offered an interesting analogy about Rockefeller, and he said that if Jay, Dame, Biggs, Ty allowed somebody from the outside to come and break things up, and they never really were down for each other in the first place. So it was interesting. So like I said, he didn't really deny his part in the Rockefeller breakup, but he just kind of dodged the question. Now, I think when you look at the Rockefeller breakup, it was bound to happen eventually. People move on, people grow apart, and that these things happen. So I think that Jay and Dame, Biggs grew apart, wanted to do different things, and Lyor Cohen was somebody that was in Jay's ear about it, and Jay moved forward with it, and that relationship went as far as it could go. And Jay-Z and Ty and the different people he does business with, they move forward. Dame Dash is a passionate person, and he was unable, because of his principled nature, to do some of the things that business would have dictated. And I respect that, but at the same time, it makes him a controversial figure. It makes it difficult for some people to even want to do business with him. But as time has passed, a lot of things that he said was true. But just because something's true doesn't mean that you got to say it in a way that alienates people and makes enemies. I respect Dame Dash. I respect Lyor Cohen. I respect people, anybody that can make it in this business this long. And so while Lyor Cohen may in fact be a culture vulture, he's going to continue to make money. He's at YouTube now. He still has a major stake in 300 Records. Ultimately, Lyor Cohen was one of the chief architects of some of the worst record deals that I've heard of. It's when you look back at sports teams, owners, managers, the way they have an athlete tell he can't work no more and just throw him to the wayside, I think that Lyor Cohen is very similar to that. The way that they treat a lot of the rappers after the career is over, the way they throw them to the dust. Lyor Cohen, reminds me clearly of that. But it's something that hip hop has always dealt with. Why do we have to go to somebody else to get on now with the advent of the internet and sites like YouTube? Many of these sites, you feel like maybe you don't need a record company. Some people are good, some people are not. And some people are just not good with the promotion side. YouTube provides distribution, as many other websites do. Lyor Cohen was on this interview really pushing the YouTube subscription service really heavy. I don't know if y'all checked that out or not. If you already have Apple Music or Tidal or Spotify, you may not see the need for YouTube Music. YouTube has a couple of original movies and things like that. So it's interesting. I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet. But let's go back to Lyor Cohen. How long is he going to stay at YouTube Music? He's there 2 years now, just about. In September, it'll be 2 years. We'll see. He doesn't stick around anywhere too long. Kind of keeps it moving. So that's interesting. He's somebody, as I said, controversial figure. Has made money in rap for a long time. Will continue to make money. And, he's made a lot of money. So if he checked out of the rap game now, he'd find something else to stick his hand in. He's somebody that has benefited from white privilege because he's just got opportunities just because, and he is a hustler, so I respect that part. But controversial indeed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radioonfire. Lyor Cohen, would you sign 300 records? Would you sign there? It's Kevin Lyles now CEO since Lyor Cohen departed for YouTube Music. A lot of artists that were affiliated with 300 records not happy for whatever reason. But such is life. A lot of artists unhappy. I'll be back here, of course, tomorrow, 9 a.m., Radioonfire.com. If you miss any episodes of the show, you can always log on to Radioonfire.com, click shows, and you can see all the shows, Diamond K Show. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, DJ Diamond K, social media at The Diamond K Show, at Radioonfire, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Connect with me. I will see you guys tomorrow.